I'm Gwen Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver in September, the start of a bull market. It's exciting. And I'm joined by Leo Hathaway of Libero Copper, which is not necessarily the best name for the company at this point, because right now the excitement is all about a gold target that you guys are pursuing up in the Golden Triangle. So do you want to tell us just the backstory of Big Red, how you came to get this project and how these targets sort of emerged out of historic work that people hadn't realized was there?
Yeah, sure. So two BC claim stakers I know came to me with the project. It was extremely early stage, had some interesting rock chip samples, and it was an interesting setting. It was a cheap deal for Libero. The first thing we did was compile historic assessment reports. There were, I think, 32 assessment reports going back to the 60s. We put all that data together into a GIS and saw where it sat spatially. And what fell out was a really quite compelling gold anomaly in talus fine samples and also rock samples that we were excited about, but it was all historic data, you know, pre the QC work that we do now for the most part. So we sent field crew up there to sample and prospect the rest of the package, because we had a few other interesting areas. In order to cover a lot of ground, they took 50-meter continuous rock chip samples where there was outcrop, and continuous samples of scree slopes where there wasn't outcrop to see if there was any mineralization shedding from above. And what fell out of that was a 50-meter sample running 5.32 grams at ridge, but also a new zone where 5 continuous 50-meter samples lined up to give us 250 meters at 2 grams plus a little bit, and within that we had another 100 meters at 6 grams, something like that. So quite exceptional grades, but very early stage samples. But they've kind of got us into the zone. We took 532 regional samples like that. The 5 that lined up were 5 of the top 6. So,
right.
You know, that's a lot more than a chance.
I mean, there's a bunch that's going on there. First of all, a great example of how work, I mean, the initial work was probably looking for copper, not gold, because it was in the 60s. Then things get lost, and so having access to people who are paying attention and old data and putting it together can really illuminate things that were sitting there unrecognized. So that's a cool part of the story. And then, you know, you head up there, and the market loved the news yesterday. It's a great part of the world. People are excited about high grade in the Golden Triangle. Now, obviously, you're up there following up on that, on the work that you've done so far. Right now, you're doing more sampling, and you're hoping to get some drilling done before winter hits.
Hey, this is reconnaissance. It's very early stage, and now we need to do, you know, shorter samples, get some cross-sampling done on that to try and really define the zone in 2 dimensions and its extent, and understand the nature of the mineralization, the controls, to get to a point where we can define drill targets and drill hopefully this year. Well, you know, and that work's underway. And I mean, samples like that, you know where you're going to drill more or less. It's more a matter of making sure you don't make an error when you're lining up the drill and that. And so we have field crew going out this weekend to do phase 2 and prepare for drilling.
Perfect. And then drilling will depend on getting a permit, and that's one of those things where you have your fingers crossed, you hope that it'll happen soon. You do have Bill Bennett on your board, who has long experience in the permitting process in BC, so we can just hope that the permit comes in time for it to happen this season.
Yeah, and you know, we have had nothing than cooperation from the TELTAN and from the ministry, so it's really just a process to get through, and we're hoping that will come soon.
Perfect. Well, exciting. I'm glad to keep up with the story. Thanks for taking the time here today.
You're very welcome.